Oh, hello. It is. What is up? Brandon, Gisco, Twerky, Jules Verne, Rob D. Hey! Pastor Chatelet. I'm live on Rumble, it appears to me, as well as Punchy.tv. What's up, Jim in Alaska? Hello, y'all. Moseying on over here from the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Thank you, guys. It's 9:01 here in Los Angeles, and it's Thursday, the 12th of February, AD 2026. The lines are filling up. You can call in. You're welcome to call in. There's a couple of lines filling up here. There's one or two lines open, and you can super chat. Some of you already have. I will get to your calls and super chats soon. Hake retort. Whoa! I wish I had. I wish I had been clever enough to come up with that name, and I think I started a couple of years after Ralph. Ethan Ralph. I was on his show a handful of times. Shout out to Ethan Ralph, a competitor. The Ralph Retort. Talented man. He was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show as well. Was he ever on the Fallen State? I don't know. I don't think so. We're gonna get going here soon, y'all. Here, let me turn that off and bring in thehakereport.com. Gonna read y'all's super chats if you'd like to. Mess going on in the world. Shout out to the callers. You're welcome to call in, as well as super chat, and I'll get to that. Take everything that you hear, think, see, and interpret from Hake with a grain of salt. It's not that serious. It may not be true. Info may be false from me, even from yours truly. Okay, so relax. I do like to, I love the training that I have received from JLP and from other great based boomer waffen. I disclaim. Like old Bill O'Reilly, Catholic man. Sticking with the facts, although facts are not truth, okay? And they can lead you away from the truth. I miss the beach, says Rob D. Oh, yeah. So we're going to get going here, y'all. No endorsement implied, okay? It's just a show. And we try to be a little serious here. And maybe a little light can shine through so much darkness. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, y'all, let's just get a ride on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I'm fine. I have my I Disavow t-shirt on again. Yeah, I know. I just wore it the other week, last month. But you can get yours on either the Hake Report, well, thehakereport.com/shop or something. Or on, well, really, it's not from there. It's either hake.printify.me or the Teespring store, okay? Or the Teespring store. If we go over to shop, I give you two alternatives. It's a little annoying, perhaps. I don't know what to do about it, because I have this Printify store, but Teespring, they say they are back on track, okay? So it's thehakereport.creator-spring.com or hake.printify.me. They're both okay options, I suppose. and see what works for you. I know it's too many options and you probably won't do it because of that, but what a mess. Nice. I want to get to your calls here. I don't want to carry on too long. What am I doing here? Boom. Here I am. Here I am, Lord. Let me get to Ryan in Illinois on the line here. What is up, Ryan?
Oh,
Thank you for
damn.
calling.
Hey, you done got to me first. Boy, that's crazy.
It's
I ain't
Black
even
History
had
Month.
time to do my little job. Well, thank you, man. It is Black History Month, and Happy Black History Month to you, my brother.
Thank you. Same to you as
My
well.
That's
redundant.
racist white brother.
Yeah. Proud
But look,
racist. I wish.
you know what? I don't even think you're racist. I think you just prejudiced because you grew up how you grew up in a little privileged, little secluded little family that kept you away from the niggers and all that.
Whoa, you're
I
not
think
supposed to
you
say
grew up
that
like
word. Although I don't mind it.
Well,
I don't mind it
I know
personally,
you
but
don't.
yeah. Go ahead.
Y'all probably use it. Let me ask you a real question. Do you guys use that word in y'all home, like when ain't no blacks around, and y'all just be like feeling comfortable, and y'all be eating dinner, and you be like, you know what? I really hate those N words. Do y'all do that?
No, we never used it in my parents' house. We did use it in the classroom because we would read those books, like Tom Sawyer or
Oh
Huckleberry
yeah,
Finn.
To Kill a Mockingbird and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I didn't really think
Yeah,
much
for
about
sure.
it until my Latino Americanized Mexican friends they started using it at one point, and so I
Bro,
picked it up from them. But they would
they
call
use the word. No,
white
go
people
ahead.
that. They would call like white
Yeah.
frat boy college, bar fight people N-word when they were getting into bar fights with them. I disclaim, don't get into bar
Look,
fights.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I love my Latino dark skinned people too, right? And
Of
Mexican,
course.
Puerto Rican,
What about the
Dominican.
light-skinned
But yeah,
Hispanics?
the white ones.
Yeah, the lighter-skinned Hispanics. Do you like
Yeah,
them?
it's some white people that do speak Spanish. Like
Yeah.
I don't discriminate against none of them. But what I'm saying is though, like they do got it bad by saying the N word, like they black, like they were like, "Hey, what's up, my nigga?" I be
Yeah.
like, "Bro, y'all not black, bro. Like
Right.
stop it." But yeah, it is kind of like borderline disrespectful, but we try not to beef with them because we don't want to start a war with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
true.
they do be doing that out of like, and I don't understand why they feel free to do it.
Yeah.
They've never been like enslaved like we have, and they don't really understand what that word derives from. I don't think. I think they just say it because it's cool, and they want to be rappers, and they be like, "My nigga." I'm like, bro,
It's
stop
a
it,
really
bro.
catchy word. I harbor, although I don't like anger, maybe I do. I harbor some measure of resentment that you guys won't let us
No, we
say
don't
the
get
fun
mad if you
words.
say it. No, you can say it. No, you can say it. If you,
Well, you might
hey,
think
if
I
you
can
got
say it.
like
You
five,
might say that,
no, if
but
you got,
go ahead.
nah, bro, look, if you got 5 or more friends and your history is a history of you been saying it,
Right.
then you got, like how you godfather in. If you been saying it, you godfathered in. But if you just now starting to say it, then you might get beat up for saying it. 'Cause
Yeah.
ain't nobody never known you for saying it. But if you was like a kid back in the day and they was like, "Boy, Hake been calling niggas," we'd be like, "Bro, Hake cool."
But the
You know
thing
what I'm
is,
saying?
like, that means that the people who grew up a little bit unstylish we have no way of becoming stylish. And it's not
No, you do.
fair.
You gotta get in cahoots with the people that's going to allow you to say the word. Like for instance, I don't know you, but I do like you because you're a little white racist,
Yeah.
and I think you cool as hell. And I know you don't mean no harm. You
Right.
just don't know no better, right?
Yep.
So if you hung out with me and my crew, and you was like singing a rap song, and you was like, my
Right.
nigga, I'll be like, bro, hey, cool, bro. Y'all leave him alone, bro.
Yeah.
Don't nobody put no hands on Hake. You feel me?
That's right.
They gonna leave you alone, bro. You feel me? Do you understand that aspect of it? Like,
I understand that. I understand that mindset. I've discussed it and I've overheard it and I've talked with other Black Americans Christian brothers about it. So I get you.
Yeah, but I still think that it's a bad thing for us to say to each other too. Like, I don't call my people that. You know what I'm saying? I've grown up. I'm a little bit older right now, so I
It's
call my
all
people
about.
brothers
I think that it's.
instead of the
I think
N-word now.
what it really is, it's all about the spirit. It's all about awareness, and it's all about having good sense.
No, I think it's just the atmosphere.
Right.
Depending on where you at and what neighborhood you in and what situation you in, whether that word gets used. Because that word doesn't normally get used to a lot of black folks. Like, y'all think we just go around calling each other that? We really don't. Some of us only call each other that when we are, like, maybe say we in the hood and it's dangerous. And we're like, damn, nigga, it's crazy out here, folks. You got to watch your back, nigga. And, you know what I mean? But we don't really be like, hey, what's up, my nigga? We don't.
Well,
do that,
sir,
like,
sir, lighten up on the heavy use, the repeated use of it, please. For the sake of, I don't know, the YouTube channel. And also people.
I just wanted to give you context.
Right, but when the more you say it, there's white kids and other kids and all kids and people who listen to the show, and you want to set a good example. And not if you repeat it, it's a catchy word, and the kids are going to repeat the catchy word, and you're going to get them in trouble.
I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry, Hake. I don't want your platform to be known as that. I was just trying to give you a example.
I understand.
This is what I want to talk to you about. What do you think about that lady who got gunned down by ICE? I'm gonna start there. So I think I forgot to talk to you about a lot of things.
Okay,
that lady
you're
got
referring
gunned down by ICE.
You're referring to the woman from like a month or two ago now who was in the vehicle, and the ICE agents or whatever they were like, hey, step out of the car, one of them said. And then her partner said, drive, drive, drive. And she drove and got shot 4 times or maybe more.
And then everybody talking about that it's like unjustified that
Stay close to your phone. Stay close to your phone, sir.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say that I don't like seeing that stuff, but that's her fault.
Her fault.
Yeah,
okay.
It's her fault, and the man was justified in the man who fired upon her. I believe he was totally justified because he really didn't know that he didn't know what was going to happen. He was coming at her. Yep.
I agree. Okay, so what about the Pretty guy? I don't want to be like everybody else. Oh, Petty. Or his name is Peretti or Pretty.
Alex Pretty, or however you pronounce it.
So do you think
that appeared to me not justified, but understandable.
Okay.
It looked understandable. in that he picked a fight, it looked like maybe, or he was kind of violent and asking for trouble. Okay. And
now let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If Alex Pretty was a black man, would he have been shot earlier when he was running up on the police when they was pepper spraying a chick, or do you think they would have waited until the moment where the white man got shot? Or do you think the black man would have got shot way long time ago?
I think had he been armed the same way that Alex was, I can't, God only knows, this is because black people act different.
Come on, hey.
You think that he would have gotten shot way earlier?
He would have got shot way long time ago. It wouldn't even been no gun. If a black man would have ran up on ICE while they was pepper spraying people, and he was actually like charging them and like physically pushing them to the ground, they would have shot that black man. Period. Ain't no answer. Ain't no questioning. Ain't no pass, go, collect $200. He would have been dead a long time ago. So why everybody all crying about this white dude who literally rushed armed federal agents? Like, bro, y'all retarded, bro.
Okay.
Right? Do you agree?
No, I mean, I don't know. You're living in your imagination and assumptions.
I'm about to make sense of everything. Once I ask you this last question.
All right.
All right. Now, 11 days ago that lady got kidnapped, right?
Nancy Guthrie's mother.
Yep, because her daughter.
I mean, Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah. and a
The
couple of
mother
other.
of Savannah got kidnapped because
Yep.
Savannah is a newscaster who was making it very clear that she was against what Epstein had going on, correct?
Oh, I wasn't aware of that, but I would imagine she was. She would have been.
Yes. Okay, so my question is to you, why would somebody kidnap the mama instead of kidnapping the woman who was creating a problem?
Well,
Second question, before you answer that one.
okay.
What is a 90 or 87, 84-year-old, 82-year-old woman doing living in a mini hotel plaza by herself? Did you see the size of that house?
Oh.
Did you see
Oh,
the size of
interesting
that house?
question.
Crazy, right? Why is she living in that massive house alone? Second of all, why ain't nobody there with her in that massive house? All that money that Savannah got and all the things that Savannah was entwined in, why wouldn't she have security? And second of all, y'all let y'all mama get kidnapped, like, and y'all didn't pay the ransom? Come on,
I'll tell
man.
you. Okay, you.
Inside job or not? Inside job or not?
Okay, all right. So let me go in order. All right. So
Yes, sir.
Savannah was not the whistleblower on the Epstein situation. She was not a major player. That's kind
I
of
didn't
like
say
saying,
she was, but
right,
I say she.
and so there's no reason that she was shining a light on Epstein, and that's why her mother got kidnapped. That's ridiculous. It's silly.
But that's what she was doing, though.
I'm not. I don't. Savannah Guthrie is
I mean,
she
you
is
may
an
not be aware,
unremarkable
but
person
you
in the
can look
media
it up.
world. It's
You
not
can
like
look it up, but
it's not
she
like
was
it's
one of
Tucker
those
Carlson
people.
or somebody.
No, she definitely ain't no Tucker Carlson,
Right.
but she definitely was adamant on that type of case.
I wasn't aware of
So,
that. You know more about
well,
Savannah than I do. Do you watch
I'm
CNN or
telling
whatever
you.
she was from, or Today Show?
I mean,
NBC?
hey, all black people ain't what you think we are. We do like to get knowledge, bro. Like, I'm
No, I
not
know
lying
that.
to you.
I know that black people are into
So,
knowledge. Okay, so
I'm not lying to you.
the
So, go ahead.
kidnapping has nothing to do with Epstein, although info may be false. I'm going to go out on a limb and speculate that the kidnapping had zero to do with Epstein.
I would say I would agree.
Okay, all right. That's funny why you brought it up then, but okay.
Because you gotta throw that in there.
Well, it gets the chat going, I suppose, maybe. Okay, and then that
Come on,
massive
man.
house.
I gotta turn your show up, bro.
The massive house that Nancy Guthrie, according to you, lived in. It looked like a hotel complex, according to you. That is how they
Google.
live in Tucson in the boonies. The boomers especially, they can afford these big places, and then and it's too big for them, and the tax system and property tax or whatever. I don't know about Arizona
So you're
specifically.
telling me?
I'm going to tell you that boomers tend to hold on to their stuff sometimes.
Listen to me, Hank.
And she's a boomer, I think, or maybe older. 84.
You still ain't answering no question.
Yeah, huh?
All
Okay,
you
so
did was speculate on what I said.
Well, you're asking me stuff that I can only speculate on because I don't know. I'm not connected to them, although I am white and Christian. Tucson is a nice, quiet town where why would you have security in a nice, quiet town where nothing happens? Well, it's not that nice. It's not that quiet. It's a big city.
Why would an old lady get kidnapped in a nice town where nothing happens unless it's an inside job?
It doesn't mean that it's an inside job. That's crazy.
Y'all are known for killing your own.
Right, but y'all are known for going into your imaginations.
Y'all known for killing your own.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad you answered that, honestly. Y'all are known for killing your own. Now, do you really think that a stranger just randomly happened to come across Savannah's mother's house and take her old self hostage and then request $6 million in Bitcoin money, and it's just happenstance?
Let me tell you one thing.
Remember I told y'all not last week, I ain't called you in about 2 weeks, that y'all white folks has become unhinged.
Okay, but let me tell you one more thing, and then I got to run after this.
I know you got to run. You learned that
we don't
from Jesse.
know.
Well, Jesse thought you good.
I don't know that the person who took that woman, made her disappear, had anything to do with the person calling for a ransom. And it makes sense not to pay a ransom until you get a proof of life. Otherwise, you pay a ransom to some rando, if you will, a random person who is just playing you, and then you pay a ransom for nothing, and you don't get your mama back. So that's why.
Do you think that woman is alive?
I don't know.
No. Why would there be blood at the location if she was just going to get kidnapped for a ransom? Why would you make her bleed? Why would you harm her?
I don't know that she was even. I don't know that she was even kidnapped for a ransom. She may have been. She may not have been.
She may have been murdered, right?
And also, yes, totally could have been.
She may have been murdered, right? You like that word, huh? You can steal that. Hey, murdered.
Thank you.
You know I love how you steal words. You can steal that from me. Murdered. I think she was murdered.
It definitely seems. I heard, according to the people reviewing the doorbell footage of this woman getting the man at her door, purported man, amateurish, an amateur.
Okay.
Or a professional, but not a well-trained professional, not doing really good work.
Oh, okay, but
so
she
could have been more squirrely than he wanted, and then he had to resort to violence and make her bleed or something. Who knows?
How long has the FBI been doing their job, right? And you know that the FBI had already went through that house several times. Why does it take for the had already gone to that location several times? Why does it take for the 11th or 12th time for them to actually come back and say, "Hey, we found some gloves that the guy had on"?
Oh, I know.
Many days later?
I think I know the answer to this. That
Was
glove,
it
that
staged?
glove, no, the glove, they found the glove, according to the report that I read in CNN, a mile and a half away.
Right.
It was not at the home. They found the glove a mile and a half away. And it wasn't confirmed whether that glove was the same one or not.
So you telling me 11 days of a kidnap of a famous, rich white woman that they never searched more than a mile, 2 miles away? Usually when it's a kidnapping, they do a whole... Come on, man. Hey,
a square,
come on.
Listen to me. A mile and a half radius, that is a vast space. There's a lot of nooks and crannies and holes and gopher holes and snake holes and potholes.
You white people search countries for dead dogs. When a dog die or y'all dog get loose, y'all search this county to the next county.
All right,
You're
sir.
Telling me
I'm gonna get yelled. I'm gonna get yelled at. And, hey,
I know you are.
Yeah, Mark from Los Angeles is gonna yell at me.
Your white callers,
because you've been talking for 18.
Hate that you talking. Look, I know your white callers gonna hate me for being on, but it's Black History Month, and I appreciate you letting me talk. But I just wanted you to understand that what y'all got going on right now is a white issue, and y'all are the culprit. Y'all kidnapped that woman, and y'all killed her.
You know what's funny is we went and raided the home of some Hispanic gal, and the guy I think was released.
Yeah, the man got released because he had a job and he was just delivering DoorDash.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh my God, why are you guys messing with the Mexicans?"
I'm honestly not that interested in this story, I have to say.
I know you're not, but I just wanted to keep reminding you on Black History Month that you white folks are unhinged, and all the crime that y'all doing to yourselves, y'all get mad and want to blame black folks. Like
I have a super chat for you.
Tell Mark to figure out who kidnapped that woman and stop hating on black.
Mark doesn't care about that woman that much. I mean, she is a Gentile woman, perhaps, but she's already lost.
She's a goner. Ooh,
no. I mean,
right.
Mentally speaking.
You said she's a goner.
Okay.
I heard you.
Thor Mode says, define white person.
Define white person?
Yes.
Okay. From my lips to yours, a white person is not somebody of white color. It's a ideology. I think white people are people who think they're better than everyone, which includes whites, blacks, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. It's not what your skin type looks like. white to me is an ideology, somebody who thinks they're better than everyone. You can even be black or Mexican and call yourself a white person. I don't think it has anything to do with skin color.
All right.
Skin color is the thing that they make us fight about. We're not white or black, bro. I'm not a black person.
I have another quick super chat for you from Commander Kim on Rumble. During the Minnesota riots, the Black Lives Matter ones, I think, there's a video of a black R-word, etard Ray, grabbing an officer's gun. Oh no, this is the recent riots with the anti-ICE riots. There's a video of a black guy grabbing the officer's gun and being pepper sprayed in the face with that pepper spray gun. Not shot, not killed.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because the government realized that they've killed enough blacks, that they're trying to give us at least a benefit of the doubt now, like they've been doing y'all for hundreds of years. Is that an acceptable answer? They're trying to spare us.
I'll accept anything from you.
Well, they're trying to spare us. They've been killing us at high numbers, and they figured out that killing us don't work. Having us on your side works better.
Nice.
So whoever sent you that super chat, tell them that, bro. It's not about racism. It's not about white and black. It's about us having love for each other.
Commander Kim does not accept your answer.
You are my brother, White Hake. You are my brother, White Kamin Chanchi, whatever his name
Commander
is.
Kim.
Mark is my white brother.
And I don't doubt whether the Commander Kim is a sister or a brother.
I don't care what he is.
I got to run, man. It's ridiculous. I got 22 minutes on the air with you.
Hey, say Happy Black History Month, Rye.
Happy Black History Month, sir.
You my man. I love your little racist ass, bro.
All right. Take care, sir. All right, David in Oklahoma on the line over here. David, thank you for calling and holding.
Oklahoma, huh?
Well, Ocala. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up later on in the show, okay? But this is, it says, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, okay?
Yeah.
You know, it's like yesterday, I wanted to talk, what was his name from Louisiana called in? Jeff from Louisiana called in and let y'all know that, the quarterback Sam Donald come into California and it cost him $25,000 a day and he made $17,000 a day to be there.
That's so crazy.
I mean, it's just, I know. That just shows you how whacked out things are, And, man, dude, this guy doesn't realize, if you're white, what is the statistic? You got an 18 times more of a chance to get killed by a black than a white?
Yeah.
No.
What it is the 18 times thing. Okay, so a randomly selected black person is 11 times more likely to kill a white than a randomly selected white person is to kill a black. It's like 11 or 12 times or maybe more.
That's pretty high.
Or maybe it's to commit murder. 18 times. You might be right with that 18 times number because the black propensity to violence per capita is much higher, and the interracial violence per capita is also much higher. So white violence is lower, and white on white violence is lower, and white on black violence is even lower, and black on black violence is extremely high, and black on other violence is also remarkably higher than the other interracial violence. Anyway, whatever.
So Mark is right. They don't build anything; they just destroy everything. Okay, because this deal about now. I'm not talking about good, wholesome black people, okay? I'm talking about iggas, like this guy's talking about. I'm talking about these YNs, these young iggas.
Young neighbors.
They destroy stuff, okay? It's like, the news media has been working on people's minds about this for like 60 years, okay?
Yeah.
never trust whitey.
Never.
You know,
The cops are
you're
shooting
white.
the blacks
Yeah,
more. Yeah.
Whitey's your problem. That's why you can't get anywhere. Then the last deal in the last 2 years is this white supremacy thing, white privilege thing. I mean, notice how that, man, it's just wickedness how they pull this stuff up and just spray it through the television set, okay?
Yeah.
And when you got the president of the United States of America standing behind a podium telling people that our number one problem in America is white privilege, okay, or white supremacy.
Yeah, Biden.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe it when he said that, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, whoa. So, other thing is, and see, then this is what they try to pull on you. They make a movie about 3 black women that if it wasn't for them, we couldn't have never gone to space, and made it back, She didn't have that great geometry and algebra running around through her head, And if you watch the movie, watch this, she starts crying because Kevin Costner's getting on to her. Where the hell do you go every 45 minutes of the day? Well, I got to run to the bathroom because there's no, it's only white bathrooms. And then he breaks out the sledgehammer and knocks the frickin' thing off the wall and says, So see how they're still planting that stuff in people's minds?
Yeah.
We're talking, racism should be over with, man. I tell you what, if y'all people want to be racist, okay, be racist against the Muslims, man. You know what I'm saying?
Interested? I pulled up a Unz review article. Now I disclaim it. I'm not endorsing it or whatever. I don't know. Paul Kersey, I've heard of him. He's probably an honest man. I'm not sure. The Hidden Figures, the movie that you referenced, which I watched in the theaters, is almost entirely a lie, filmed and promoted for one reason: erase/retcon, whatever that is, white history in America. And that's a 2017 article from January 13th, talking about Hidden Figures, that movie about the black female, she's pretty light-skinned. Katherine Johnson admittedly faced no discrimination at NASA. The scriptwriters made all the racism that she faced up, probably because people thought she was white. Interested, because she does look pretty white. Can't tell that she's
you talking about the real
white.
lady?
Yeah, the real one. Not to be confused with Taraji P. Henson or whoever else was in Hidden Figures. This is the Taraji P. Henson, Janelle Monáe, and that other gal. Shout out, you Black History people. Octavia Spencer. Yeah, and the person who made that movie is a known liar and propagandist, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaking it. Maybe it wasn't that black female who made that movie. I might have been confusing this with Selma and When They See Us, those about the Central Park 5 fake.
Oh, yeah.
Fake news.
Well, they've been feeding that propaganda. I mean, that, finally, since, you got networks like yourself and stuff, platforms like yourself, people are finally coming out of the damn ether, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, they've been pushing that junk through the news, ABC, CBS, NBC, been pushing all these lies for all these years. I mean, when I go over to my mother's house, she watches the news at night, and I tell her, why are you watching that junk?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I looked this up or I saw this on the internet one day. It said back in like 1865, after the Civil War, there was 31 million people in our country, and only 500,000 of them were slaves. Okay.
Okay.
Or blacks. All right. So look at that percentage, and you tell me how they built our country off of that percentage right there. Now, they might have hammered some nails, okay?
Yeah.
But they didn't draw up no plans to no freaking buildings. I seen footage of them building the Empire State Building one day. Okay. Not one black person was up there doing nothing. Okay.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and it's just, that's why, watch this, man. That's the kind of stuff right there that's trying to make me a racist. Okay?
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's what they want. they want you mad, and they're trying to bait you. In addition to deluding the Black Americans and others who would fall for this stuff, and some guilty whites or whatever, they're also trying to troll you guys and make you guys mad, or us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two black girls on whatever it is, CNBC at night, that are just so full blown racist.
They're saying, according to okay, so 1860, they claim, according to Google AI, you mentioned 500,000 slaves. This says 4.5 million blacks, roughly 4 million enslaved, 500,000 free blacks, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So and that was 1860, that particular thing. About 27 million white. So
okay,
I don't know.
I might, but still,
Yep.
it's, but listen, man, I want to just say this real quick before I go.
Yep.
You want to know why people don't like the state of Israel, man, the Jews, okay?
Okay.
It's because of people like Jeffrey Epstein, but people like Ben Shapiro, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, I saw him on Rogan, and what he said about Jesus, that boy's going to hell. And that's exactly what I meant when you profess to be wise, but you made yourself become a fool. He's the biggest, he's a prime example of what God's talking about, okay?
Ben Shapiro said that he was a criminal or something, that they, or, a false prophet or something.
Yeah, he was an active. It basically said he was like an activist who got himself in trouble, and got himself hung on a cross. Okay,
but wouldn't you believe that that's what a Jew would think? Because that's what a Jew would have to think, not to believe in Jesus. It's not really meant to be disrespectful. It's just that's what he assumes.
Well, they're blinded. God blinded them, okay, because of their unbelief.
But are you offended Are you offended at what he said personally?
A little bit. I mean, it's not like I'm going to jump on a bandwagon to hate Ben Shapiro, but I just want you to understand why people don't like, Christians. Certain Christians don't like Jews because they don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, but that's what.
And not only do they not believe he's the Messiah, they believe somewhat negatively about him.
Right, which is and terrible.
There's stuff that a lot of Christians supposed Christians have told me, stuff that the Talmud supposedly says about where Jesus is and what's happening with him. And
that he's an HELL.
Yeah,
I mean, heard that
boiling and something, and yeah, even what's his name, Bill Lockwood, whom you don't fully respect, as I recall, but Bill Lockwood has brought up that quote, and then this Jewish guy said, no, that's not who they were talking about. They were talking about somebody else and not Jesus. Actually, I don't know. I don't care. Do you think Jesus is offended by what they believe about him?
No, I think he's like y'all, where he just don't care. I mean, he can't let it bother him. It is what it is.
Yeah.
He knows the beginning from the end, so he knows exactly what's going to go down, and what's going to go down with them is once this 7-year tribulation starts, which is the 70th week of Daniel prophesied in the Bible in the Old Testament. Once this Antichrist guy comes on the scene and finally he gets wounded by a sword yet lives, it says, so he comes back to life in the middle of the tribulation, and he goes into the temple and proclaims he's God, and then they run, okay? They take off and go to Petra, supposedly. God supernaturally protects like a third of these jokers, okay? So later on they can go into the 1,000-year millennium and populate the earth. And that's what I disagree with Bill Lockwood about, because he does not believe that, okay? And that is just straight up in the Bible, hardcore. There's no way around it, okay? You got what I'm saying? So he believes that it all happened back in 78 A.D. is what I'm believing, that he believes that. So I don't believe that. So that's the only thing I got against Bill Lockwood. So
interesting.
Do you understand where I'm coming from on that?
I do. I think I
You know?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disagreement and claims and counterclaims and accusations of heresy regarding Revelation, the book of
Hmm.
Revelation, written by
Right.
John, I believe, right?
Yes. On the
Um,
Isle of Patmos.
and he
Yeah.
wrote. And when did he write that? Is it said?
I think it was sometime like 90 AD. I'm not positive, but that's the number that seems to come to mind. That's about when he when he wrote it.
And Bill Lockwood claims that all of that took place in
I
70,
believe Bill Lockwood, but yeah, that when the third temple got destroyed.
and that was
That
20 years prior to the writing of Revelation.
I'm not positive about that, Hake. So I just don't want to, I'm just
Okay.
in my mind. My mind is telling me it was 90 AD is when when John wrote it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it could, if it were that, and I don't know, and I'm so that I can have a conversation. I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to get distracted writing. Um, let's say that were the case. He wrote it 20 years later. He may not have. This might be a waste of time. It could be John giving a God-inspired interpretation of past events and then speaking about it, and so that people know how to look at it. But people apparently don't know how to look at it. A lot of people. Um,
Well, the thing is when did the market? When was this one world ruler ruling? The temple was destroyed. So how's this guy going to stand up in the temple and claim he's God? I looked it up. It said around 95 to 96 AD is when he wrote it.
oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
that's coming, folks.
you
That's
know,
coming.
let me throw in this something, and it may be a dumb thing. It's total speculation on my part. I'm ignorant, as you know. Info may be false. But, when they killed Jesus and he appeared again, and then the Romans, after trying to persecute and kill the Christians, they couldn't finish them off. And then they realized, you know what? These Christians are actually pretty good citizens or something. This may be false, okay? The guy declared, the Roman guy declared Christianity the real religion, right? And he came up with BC and AD, right? I think
Okay.
The Roman man.
Okay.
This totally may be false, but now he popularized Christianity. But was it real Christianity, or was it actually false Christianity that he popularized, and it was actually anti-Christ, a false thing,
Well, it could be. It could go along with the deal, like your buddy that just passed away, the cartoonist guy or the comic dude that
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Well, I'm going to believe.
Scott
I'm going to
Adams.
believe in. Yeah, I'm going to believe in. I'm trying to believe in Jesus so he doesn't go to hell. Basically, I don't know what
Right.
that man was thinking. It's the person you're talking about, the AD, a Roman guy. I don't know what he was thinking, but all I know is that that 7-year tribulation's coming, man, and it's going to be wild, buddy. I mean, it's going to be a wild show when this whole thing shows up. You know what I'm saying? So brace yourself, folks. I mean, y'all think it's bad now? I mean, my God, it's good. I mean, like that lady, I'll leave you with this, like that bartender lady that got shot in the back of the head by that black guy. He robbed her bar like a week and a half ago.
Wow, I don't know if I remember that story. That's crazy.
Yeah. They're finding out now he worked with her for a few years. He had murdered somebody, got 35 years, got let out in 17 years, and then he goes, and I guess he had a problem with this girl from 3 years ago when he worked with her, or 2 years ago, and he crept into her bar at 11 o'clock in the morning, robbed her, and shot her in the freaking back of the head. Not only once, he did it twice. And that's why people like me are sick of this junk, and that is turning us racist, man.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, bro. You don't see white people going out there and clipping these black people, doing all the stuff that these black people do to whites. You don't see it percentage-wise.
Right.
Sure, it happens,
Yeah.
but it's so much lower,
Yep. Yeah, I know
So
they make an international story out of it every time a white does it to a black, but when blacks do it to whites, they it is reported, but it's not sensationalized the way that they sensationalize the white on black ones. It's so
right.
crazy. It's evil.
Yeah, and one other thing, this lady that's got abducted, what's her Guthrie is her last name?
Yep.
What I find wrong about that is there's old people all over this country that are walked out of their house and been missing for 3 days or something like that, and they're not getting the coverage that this lady's getting. The only reason why this lady's getting coverage like this is because of who her daughter is, and the
Yeah.
news media has jumped on a story. They've been writing that story for 12 days now. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people's minds are all off of all this other stuff that's going on because of it. You got what I'm saying? I mean, they're not thinking about, really what's really happening in our country right now.
Right.
They're thinking about this lady. Okay, so
Yeah. It's so funny how. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the news media is powerful.
Yeah, they really do direct our minds. That's what I was gonna say. They like, what's the news talking about? And granted, they kind of do what shallow people like most of us, follow excitement and hype and relatableness. Everybody's seen Savannah Guthrie, even though she's not that big of a star when it comes to news media. She's still a star. She's basically a household name, and more so now. And so since it's kind of like the missing white girl syndrome thing that the blacks are all mad about. Remember that pretty white girl who disappeared, and it turned out her boyfriend had I guess killed her in the on a road trip.
Oh yeah. About
so
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, so if somebody's pretty, there's a nice picture of her, and there's some nice footage, and it's mysterious, and people love speculating and getting juicy details, and it's relatable. We don't have the energy to keep up with all these stories. In fact, we probably shouldn't keep up with hardly any of them because most of them have nothing to do with us. It's just like you said, it's a pastime.
Well, there was a girl like 20 years ago. Her anniversary just came up down in Orlando. They got abducted out of her apartment building, and they took her car. And basically, what it was these freaking illegals that were working in her complex. Okay,
wow.
And they didn't even they were subcontracting out to a company. Okay, that had these illegals working for them, so they couldn't track none of these guys. Okay, now they don't know for sure that it was one of them, but I'm saying it was one of them. Okay? They saw her in her apartment, and they broke in her apartment, probably raped her and killed her, and then took her and threw her in her car. And her parents had been crushed for 20 years. There was billboards up all over the place, wanting to find her for years down here in Florida. I think her name was Jennifer something or Jessica, whatever. The bottom line is this illegal junk just didn't start before Trump came into office. Okay, these guys have been killing people. We had a guy that came through Ocala that was famous. He rode these trains, okay, and he would just hop off these trains, this illegal would, go up to the closest house he found and just murder an 80-year-old woman, okay? I mean, so that's the thing. Why would this Guthrie daughter not at least have one of them life alerts around her daughter's neck, okay? Her mother's neck, or something that she could reach out to in case somebody came up to that house at night and started trying to break in.
A lot of times people get comfortable. They think that they're more secure than they really are.
Right, and that's when you get clipped. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when somebody, like, I used to walk out of the movie theater with my wife, and I put my key back when they had keys between my fingers. Okay, and and she goes, "What are you doing?"
I said, ready.
"This is in case." I said, in case somebody jumps out behind that car down there, I'm going to poke their eyeball out. So I was always ready.
Better safe than sorry.
Right on. Hey, listen, man, thanks for having me on the show, and you have a great day. Hey, thanks for everything that you do, buddy. Okay.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
All right, later. later on. Bye.
Bye. Mark, Los Angeles. Mark, thank you for calling and holding, sir.
Yes, sir. The first shout out to Ivana in the comment section.
Ivana, yeah. Ivana.
Ivana. Yeah, she's good. I like what she says.
Same.
I wanted to talk about yesterday's conversation in regards to slavery. First of all, I don't advocate it. I don't want it to come back. So Kentucky John could, put his mind at ease.
Yeah.
But I did want to say that when we had slavery, we had 100% black employment. We had no racial strife. White people were able to walk the streets of America in safety. Our problems with race didn't start until the slaves were set free. Now, whether it's biblical or not, I don't care. I'm not going to get tripped up. I'm not talking about you now, but I'm not going to get tripped up by Bible thumpers who want to pretend we're all equal and there's no such thing as racial difference. That's blasphemy, it's wrong, and it's suicide for white people to believe that fairy tale. I believe, as I said yesterday, that the natural order of things are for white people to run the government, the country, the world, and try our best to tame the Negro, either through slavery or whatever it takes. Do you know, after the riots of the 60s, I heard this on one of your competitors' channel. I can't give his name. But you see the problem with that before I go on. When I can't reference my source of information, you got bozos in the comment section that are going to say I'm making it up and lying.
They're going to say that anyway, though. Don't worry about it.
No, I know, but if I can't, I'm not asking you to do this, but if I can't give a reference, then these bozos have a soapbox to stand on. So it's true. I don't lie. I've never lied. I may have given information that was wrong that was given to me, like the viewership of the halftime of the Super Bowl. You can't believe the sources, but I know millions and millions tuned out when that Bugs Bunny came on.
I heard half the audience tuned out, according to some headline that I saw. If that headline's true, who knows? Yep.
But the thing is, one of the scoundrels in the comment section, 178 million viewed that halftime show. That's the number of the people that viewed the Super Bowl. And these communists will use that stat to say that's how many also watched the Bugs Bunny show.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tune out of the halftime show because usually the halftime show is meant to appeal to a different audience from the people who actually enjoy the sport of football. Of course.
Yeah, it's amazing. They'll say that he was a unifier, this Bugs Bunny. But how can he be a unifier when he's speaking in a language, over 2/3 of the country doesn't speak and doesn't want to hear?
And from what I've heard, very vulgar as well. Like what if Trump is telling the truth, which he tends to.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know, and I don't speak that heathen tongue. But there was something
Why aren't you for slavery? Why are you opposed to bringing that back, or why are you not for it?
Because I believe in total separation.
Okay.
And I don't want them here as slaves. That was the biggest mistake.
It created problems.
That's right.
Yep.
It was when we ended slavery that the problems began.
Yeah, it set up for problems. Yeah.
Right. Now, there were some exceptions.
Yeah.
Occasionally, one of the slaves would try to make a pass at a white woman, and he'd end up, hanging from a tree. But that was very rare, and when it did happen, the problem was solved. You have to fight suppression. How does that go? You can't win unless you use stronger methods than your enemy. I'm not saying that right. Rockwell said it better than I could.
Okay.
The only way to overcome force and suppression is with superior force and superior suppression. So when they commit crimes against our people, if you don't go to the max to bring them to justice, it's going to continue to happen. And I fear that once Trump leaves office, the fraud, the black crime rate, which is down now, thank you, President Trump, and all the illegals that were deported. If we get a radical in there like Newscomb or somebody like him, they will invite these demons back. They did it already. Grossberg, the communist judge, the Jewish guy, one of the chosen people, he demands that they bring back deported illegals. It's not unheard of. They hate this country and our race so bad, they will do extreme things like that. And the further to the left you go, the more it's apt to have the government under their control to come after guys like me and you, just ordinary citizens that are outspoken, in our support for Trump and for the white race. They'll want to kill us. I do want to pivot to one other thing because I know time is limited. One of your competitors had an Italian nationalist on her show the other day. And if you think things are bad in the U.S., it's really bad in Italy. I told you about Spain giving amnesty to 500,000 sub-Saharan Negroes. That's a suicide pact. Okay, and it was a communist, Pedro Sanchez, the president, who's a commie, like Mandani. He's the one that's orchestrating this disease. And in Italy, you have a woman whose name I can't pronounce. She's the prime minister and supposedly a conservative. But this Italian nationalist that was on the show said that she's already said she's going to import another 500,000 sub-Saharan Negroes from Africa in the next 3 years, and they will be given citizenship upon arrival. She's not going to deport anybody. She's another fraud. She's a Romney Italian style. Because believe me, if Romney had defeated Obama in the first term, or that was actually in the 2012 election, Romney would have done an amnesty, just like McCain, just like Bush. These rhinos all suck, and these European leaders like her, the woman whose name I can't pronounce, they're taking cues from the rhinos in this country. By that I mean tell them what they want to hear, and then when you're elected, govern to the left. That's the philosophy of the rhino. And they're learning that in Europe now. Also, and this is very important, he said that in Italy, the courts, the judiciary, is where the left has taken over. And even though it's a right-leaning country, the laws that are being made by these corrupt judges, like immigration, letting them all stay and giving them amnesty, that's something they don't know where to turn, because the media will throw you in jail in Italy if you condemn migration or support remigration, meaning deportation of the ones that are there already. He's got something, this man whose name I can't pronounce either, the Italian nationalist, he's got like 7 counts against him already for statements he's made against this invasion of Italy.
So Italy doesn't have freedom of speech, kind of like the UK does not and Canada does not.
Right, and it's not in the case of Italy anyway, it's not the politicians, it's the court and the judges. And remember about a month or two ago, I told you that in Venezuela, they had a young Venezuelan patriot on a TV show talking about what happened in Venezuela. He said communism came to Venezuela through the court. It wasn't through the people, it was through the court.
Yeah.
Just like in Italy, it's through the courts. And in the U.S., the only thing, it's not quite as bad here yet. We're still able to have a little bit of free speech. But you see how they're jamming Trump's immigration agenda. The courts are dangerous. These judges are activists and rogue judges. They're left-wingers. When the left doesn't hold power, they run to the court. Or they go to the street and commit violence. You ever notice when the left controls the government, you don't see, the same sort of violence toward the police and so on as you do when a person like Trump becomes president. You had the BLM riots in 2020. Now you've got these bozos in Minnesota, these anti-ICE, white-hating demons trying to disrupt law and order.
Yeah.
And I've never seen in my life where local police won't work with federal police.
Yeah.
Imagine if Wallace, our former good Governor Wallace, may he rest in peace. Imagine if he'd have had the state troopers in Alabama tell Katzenbach, that was the name of the attorney general that forced integration on Alabama, if he would have told him, look, we're not going to accept these students and you can do whatever you want. You can send the army in. He would have never done that because he was the logical thinking white man. He knew that the courts had ruled against him, Wallace did, and he obeyed the court order. But the left doesn't obey court orders.
Yep.
They're totally anarchists. And one last thing. I told you before that I am not a small government conservative.
Yes.
And the reason is because right now, I know I read today where they're going to be pulling out the guys in Minneapolis, but all the ICE, immigration enforcement, and the National Guard, that's all big government. And you're not opposed to what they're doing, right?
Right.
Okay, so that means that, you could argue by taking that position, you are not really a small government conservative. And I'm not trying to argue with you. But my point is the reason I don't call myself a small government conservative is because we're going to need the government to look out for as white people, our best interests. They're not doing that. Well, under Trump, a little bit more. They're looking out for the white man in a way, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But every president since LBJ, and that includes Ronald Reagan, has not had the interests of our race at heart. That's why it was better to have a small government under the left. But if the right comes to power, we should expand government powers, especially in policing and enforcement of, for example, immigration laws.
Yeah,
So,
the bigger we've allowed the problem, the bigger we have to, the more stronger we have to be to deal with the problem. Think of the millions and millions, tens of millions of illegal people here, or so-called asylum seekers, and they're trying to do courts for them and stuff like that. It's so ridiculous.
Well,
And so you need to greatly expand the ability of the government to process them all on out of here.
Well,
of course, I get
is
you.
The courts are the problem.
I know.
In this country. They're
Big
the problem. We have the Democrats in a minority status, but unfortunately, there's enough rhinos, for example, to kill the SAVE Act. I read where there's 4 rhinos, McConnell.
The SAVE Act is about the election? Is about...
Yeah, to ID people when they go to vote. Simple
voter
task.
ID. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they admit their own failures. The left is saying minorities can't come up with an ID because they're too stupid. That's not my words. That's their words. They don't say stupid because they won't be insulting, but they'll say that minorities have a problem getting IDs. They'll look for any excuse they can, and yet about 90% of Republicans support it, and about 70, believe it or not, 70% of Democrats support it, but it may not pass.
You're talking about voters, Democrat voters.
Yeah, 70% of Democrat voters support voter ID.
Yeah, the will of the people is never enforced. That's true.
And you can thank the court.
Yeah, especially when it's for something right.
Right. Do you think in 1954, when the court ordered the schools to be integrated, which was unconstitutional, they federalized the schools, that ruling of Brown versus Board was totally unconstitutional. Do you think that would have ever passed a vote of the people? Do you think bringing slaves here would have ever passed by a vote of the people? Do you think integrating the schools would have ever passed by a vote of the people? No, it was courts and corrupt politicians who perverted the Constitution into something it was never meant to be. And that's why we're under the present conditions that we're in, even with a good president like Trump. There's so much to undo, he may not be able to do it. For example, stop abortion, mass deportations, not just the hardened criminals who he can't even get deported. He's working on it.
Right.
It's not a criticism.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard to get rid of the damage that the Democrats/communists have done to this country.
Totally.
Anyway,
man.
that's what I got for you today. Hey, God bless. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Max, a first-time caller out of Wyoming. How you doing, Max? Thank you for calling. How you doing? What's up?
Hey, doing good. Hake, how you doing, man?
Doing fine.
So I just I agree with what everyone's been saying. Basically, this suicidal empathy that's been pushed on people, and then also the radical liberals going along with it have definitely been hurting America, no doubt.
Suicidal
But
suicidal empathy, you said.
yeah,
Yep.
the radical liberals pushing for open borders and stuff, and you do see like a lot of educated white women pushing for that too.
Yeah.
And so, as Americans, you know, it's kind of like hard to stand up for the white women and protect them when they openly hate you at the same time. So I kind of wanted to tie that in.
Trump said, "We're going to protect you women, whether you like it or not."
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of promote that message that, you know, like a lot of like workplaces and stuff are, you know, it used to be all white guys and you could, you know, the work was getting done and work was high quality and everyone spoke English, you could communicate. But I do see like a lot of guys running, a lot of white guys that are needed in America today.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are running from it when we need to stand up and be strong and hold our ground.
You're saying running away from America, or what do you mean by running?
Running away from like workplaces, like a lot of white guys I see are getting fed up because they can't communicate with people because they don't speak English.
Yeah.
And then the women that they do communicate with are totally bought into this liberal ideology, which is just anti-man in a sense.
Totally.
And they do openly say stuff like, you know, they hate men and stuff. I see it every day in my daily life, but it's pushing white guys out and they're frustrated.
Yeah.
But it's just more emphasis on how we need to actually be strong and stand our ground, and you know, and America's going to bounce back that way.
Right.
If we run away, then we're just surrendering and playing into the globalist liberal hand that they want, you know.
I'm with you on that. You know, people say, "Oh, Hake and Bond guys, you guys got to get out of California." And I get that there's danger and stuff, of course, and crime and whatever else. But that's not necessarily a reason to run. And people do leave. And I heard that even I saw a headline, don't know if it's true, that Mark Zuckerberg is leaving because he doesn't want to get a wealth tax. So he's moving to like Florida or Texas or somewhere. But
right.
But yeah, and I understand that. I'm not against him moving. But he, you know, there was a competitor of mine who pointed out that he funded and helped elect Democrats. And his whole, you know, his Meta platform was very pro-liberal and anti-Trump and anti-white and anti-Christian and anti-truth. So he created the problem for himself and the rest of us, you know. But yeah, I'm with you. We got to be perfect and not be frustrated and dismayed at the evil and injustice in the world. Like Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome it. Nice.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Do you think like focusing on like white guys focusing like a lot on race is the right thing to do? Is that standing up and holding our ground in the right way?
Not necessarily. It's good not to be shy of it, because there is a freedom of speech that that a lot of these white men have, young men have, and black guys like JLP, they speak in ways that are so like not used to allowing ourselves to think, and it's shocking almost sounding. And you know, Mark talking so frankly, when Mark says stuff, yeah, there's Mark from Los Angeles with whom I just hung up. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of anger behind it, and I'm sure there is. But a lot of what he says is just the facts, if it's not the truth. Because the truth, let's say the truth is love. And there's not necessarily love in what Mark is expressing, but he is telling the facts. And he's right about, like, a big picture about almost everything that he's saying. And so it's good not to be to condemn your white Christian or anti-Christian, because there's some pagan and atheist and whatever pro-white activist types. Don't be quick to judge them, but this is America, and we're supposed to have the freedom of speech, the freedom of association, the freedom to be into race or not into race, and the freedom to discriminate. These are basic American rights, and they're basic godly. It's godly to grant blacks and whites and Jews and others the freedom to have the purported values that they think that they have. And so I think it's good. I think this dropping of the fear of identifying with race is good, but the identifying with race to where you're prideful about it, emotional about it, distracted about it is not good. That's turning kind of black.
Right. Well, if we stand up in the right way, overcoming anger is certainly something good, and then coming to Christ is certainly good too.
Yeah.
But when we get that fear in our daily lives, and we've done all that before, overcoming the anger, coming to Christ, then that's just an opportunity for us to stand up and do what's right. And if we need to say, white people are the best, then that's something we got to say,
Right. Because they, in a lot of ways, they are. Like they're look at how and they know it too. Like my Hispanic friends and others will and blacks and others and Asians, they will like kind of credit the whites even while hating them or like crying racism on them. And they'll be like, but at least it's civilized, or quiet neighborhoods, or you can trust them, or they follow the law, they follow the rules. And sometimes a lot of times it's good for society, good for a functioning civilized neighborhood.
Yeah, this country was built on God-loving men.
Yeah.
And then in order for us to maintain it, it needs to be maintained by God-loving men too. And if we get away from God, then we're basically giving it away in a sense. We're not going to be able to stand up in a strong way.
Yeah.
Or, we're going to overreact, and then basically, that's going to be the front newspaper. White people overreacting on black people.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be perfect. And a lot of these guys are way better than they're given credit for. Like Mark and our future president, I call our future president, and others. They're like great guys. Although they may have evil within them and stuff like that, they would make good neighbors to anybody, and they'd be fair with anybody. So anyway.
Right. Yeah, I've seen people like that too.
Yeah.
Or they help out. I wanted to get to my other point, which was creationism, and I don't know if you've studied this at all, but through my studies, I've seen that evolution is obviously false. It's a false narrative that's pushed on kids nowadays and everyone, like society. And there's really not a whole lot of truth behind it. What do you think about creationism? And do you think that would be like a way where we could get more people, like if it was true, and is that some way where people could get on board with Christ more? Flip their worldview on the head, and then get people to start thinking about their worldview more.
I don't think so. I get the thinking, but the temptation when you find out facts, because you're discussing facts. When you're discussing facts in the situation of the physical world, you're getting into knowledge and intellect and arguments, and that can just lead to just a prideful battle. In rare cases, I have seen atheists become Christians, and people who've studied the universe and things like that, and science, become Christian. And of course, that's cool enough. But the evil heart is what really needs to change more than that. So more than any lie about ball Earth or flat Earth, young Earth or old Earth, creation or evolution, and whatever else. Let's say you're into that, and let's say that it is a God-given interest, that God gave you that interest. Don't let it become a Satan-like interest where you're just into that all the time, and it's just a
Obsession.
knowledge and pride of knowledge type of thing. You know how JLP tells the truth about what's going on with Black Americans and Hispanics and immigration and all that stuff. When callers call in to argue with him about it, he never loses his cool. He has the big picture, and he'll even bring it to like the spirit and anger and stuff like that, where people can see that he's coming from light. There's no darkness in him, in his discussions and in his conversation. It's all light. It's lighthearted where it needs to be, and it's serious where it needs to be, and it's real where it needs to be. Because all this stuff, what people believe about the world, is basically a distraction from your own evil heart.
Mm-hmm.
And people's hearts are evil, and that's what's making them suffer and hung up on arguing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it just kind of cuts through the pardon me, kids, but crap of the intellectual discussion into relatable, did you forgive your mother type of thing. I'm not telling you to ask people if they forgave their mother, but keep in mind the big picture, that it's just knowledge, and knowledge falls short.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. The intellectual side can really take over and kind of mess with someone. And we don't want people to come to the intellectual side before they come to like the spiritual side. But there's some cases where people
They will, though. Yeah.
you know, come to the intellectual side and then come to Christ's way. But it's kind of like backwards in a sense.
People think that people find out stuff about Jews or about black crime or whatever, and then they think they're awake. But they're not awake. They still have dark, evil hearts, and they're basically kind of sleepwalking. They're still led around by they're blown and buffeted by the waves of life.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, or like the really knowledgeable people, like they learn about the Jews and stuff. It's like they're always missing the point. They think they're growing up, but they're getting smarter and they're getting more prideful, but they're just missing the point at the end of the day. Like when people focus just on race and stuff like that, it's about the spirit, right versus wrong.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main battle.
Yep. It's kind of like if you don't like diversity in your country, why would you wish it upon Israel?
Yeah. That's
How
true.
about let's be more like Israel and be nationalists like them, and real religious in the true religion sense.
Yeah. Hey, I think Jesse's kind of a revolutionary with a lot of stuff that he's been doing. I think he's more influential in the conservative space than people realize.
Yeah.
With like overcoming anger, asking what is a woman, what is a man, and then also he predicted pretty well that Trump is the great white hope for sure. He's reversing all this stuff, and he's making America nationalist again.
Right. Nice.
So JLP's on point, and he's only on point because he's with Christ. He's complete. He's set apart because he's following Christ. Right.
Definitely.
Nice. So, in a way, his worldview is on point, and if you have a on point worldview, then you're able to make predictions. But everyone who is their worldview is off point, or that they're only able to react to certain things. Have you seen that?
Say that one more time.
So if your worldview is on point, like Jesse, then you're able to make predictions about things, and you can see things way ahead of time.
Yeah.
But all the liberals and institutions and people that are just kind of brainwashed, their worldview is so off that they're only able to react to what they're given.
Interesting. Yeah. That's true. Like JLP sees the genocide upon white people in this country and around the world, and he sees it as like the evil and the emergency that it is, and that's something that people are missing. And that's so true.
Yeah. So I was just curious about that worldview thing. And just a quick thing is
The worldview thing
evolution
you're
is
talking about, which worldview thing? What's that?
Well, I think a lot of people, they don't even think to establish a worldview. And like a worldview, everyone has one, whether they think they have one or not. And it's important for people to examine their worldview so that they can see, I guess, in the right way to go, in a sense. Most people, will get asked certain questions, and their entire worldview will basically collapse and fall into cognitive dissonance and stuff like that. And to kind of tie it into creation is, if you really look at evolution and you understand how like the human body functions and how the universe functions, then it becomes clear that evolution is false. With the macro evolution side of things in the billions of years, it's really an obviously false thing. And that's kind of why I was thinking about creationism, is if that was a little bit more accepted and got people to think a little bit more, we could flip a lot of people's realities on their head, but hopefully in the right way, and then get people to think a little bit more. I just see in my daily life, I've been trying to get people to overcome their anger and just be an example. And it just doesn't seem like it's working. But maybe I'm not noticing it, and it actually is working. But one thing
you said you're trying to get people to overcome their anger?
Yes, by being an example, and then also just by watching, and then just waiting for the right moment to speak up. Never imposing any type of thought. And I haven't seen a lot of it working in my daily life, but maybe it's working more behind the scenes, and God just hasn't revealed it. But one thing that I think is just kind of an easy way to get people thinking is just to show them how false and how much of a lie the evolution thing is, because I think that it's a big barrier for a lot of people to go into religion and stuff like that. People think that evolution's true, so they just completely disregard Christ altogether. But I think if we can kind of soften that barrier, I think some people will start to think about it a little bit more, and then they'll see that it's obviously false. And you can even use the AI. It has all of accumulated data that's digitized in the computer. And if you start asking the AI enough questions, specifically Grok will actually tell you and not pander to you about all the facts that, the flood happened, the earth is actually young, and then the Bible is reliable. What do you think about that?
I don't know about your approach. I don't know. I can't. I've found that I can't. Although I consult with Grok quite a bit, I don't totally trust Grok, and I don't know if when I said I don't know if your approach is correct.
Right.
Let's talk again. Nervous. Let's talk again, Max.
Okay. Can I say one thing? I'm a little nervous talking on a radio show, so I'm kind of all over the place.
Okay.
But if you're ever talking with Grok and you want to get more into this, if you keep asking deep questions, you can invoke the transcendental argument. The Grok will go into an unfiltered mode where it actually will tell you what it believes to be true and not feed you that corporate bullcrap programming that it has on the front. And you can tell this by its voice changes, almost like a demon voice, which is kind of scary, but it activates raspy Grok. And so if you keep asking deep questions to Grok, it'll turn into raspy Grok. And, if it will help people, like a lot of people who, don't want to type it slowly in Google and stuff like that. You can just talk back and forth with Grok, and you can learn that way about it. And, I'm not so sure about my approach either. I'm trying to watch that and be careful and not to be too intellectual and stuff. But I think it can be clear, and I think it can be done in the right way. And I think if that's done in the right way, then that barrier will soften, and hopefully we can bring America back to Christ. That's my message.
Thanks for your call, man. Let's talk again. Max in Wyoming. Are you Asian
Awesome.
or white or Hispanic or black or
I'm white.
Okay, nice. Good to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Hake. Take
All
care,
right.
man.
You as well. Man, oh man, oh man. William 7, before I get to your super chats, William 7, thank you for calling, sir. What's up? Are you there? I know it's been a little while. William 7, if you can, come off of mute. Going once, going twice. I'll put William 7 on hold. The lines are full, y'all. I got to get to the super chats, everybody. Mark, what podcast do you watch? Chat wants to know. Type it into the chat, I guess. Everblazer, I think evolution is true, but to a certain degree. What about you, Hake? Same. I think it might be true. I'll have to talk with Max again to see how it's obviously false. Max sounds like a young earther. And I heard a young earther talk, and, you know, I'm kind of gullible. I tend to, if something sounds like it might be true, then it's kind of sounded true. And then later, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if it's young earth. There are old earth creationists and young earth creationists. And it's a big mess going on in this here old world. Did I go all the way up? LOL. Okay, yes. Popcorn, yesterday's super chat. Oh, I think there was a super chat from YouTube yesterday that I had missed. And actually, I probably have the screenshot right here. If I go up here. By the way, I had a super chat that was interesting that wasn't really a super chat. It was a question from Fish Fanatic on American Anchor Baby. You guys may recognize this. Said, I think Ronnie from Ohio believes it's fair white South Africans are going through persecution right now. But maybe he'll clarify that sometime. You know how the white South Africans and South Africa in general are suffering majorly, and that's not a good thing. I say. And I wonder what Ronnie from Ohio's perception of it is. 7 not ready. Supers and coffees. Okay, so Ronnie, that's a question for you from Fish Fanatic 6345 on American Anchor Baby's show last Friday, which would have been tomorrow's Friday the 13th? Hey, Jason! That's devilish. So, Ronnie, question for you. What do you think about what's happened to the white South Africans? And Popcorn says, so just to be clear, Jesse has definitely called the attack on whites a state of emergency. You may not agree on that characterization. I do agree on that characterization. I just wasn't referring to solely the anti-white discrimination of affirmative action. So I shouldn't put that off on you. Your stance is this: black people aren't being discriminated against in hiring. I never said they aren't. They're just making it up and crying about it. They do make stuff up and cry about stuff that they make up. That part's true. Because a lot of times they're just speculating. They have no idea, but they make the claim and the accusation. So yes, they are probably likely being discriminated against, but probably not actually. They're probably being discriminated for in hiring, which is a shame, causing trouble for most people themselves who do it, or many cases. But at the same time, it may be happening, and when it does, it's understandable because of what you deemed risk assessment. Yeah, it's quite understandable. To me, it's somewhat incoherent. Discrimination is happening, risk assessment, but at the same time, it's not stop complaining, etc. But when you should never complain. But when it happens to white men, they're under attack, which is bad. But you agree the companies should be able to do that, yes. But so there's nothing to complain about with that either. I'm exhausted, says Popcorn. Popcorn, stop trying to understand and interpret. Your interpretation is leaving you maybe confused. I don't get where you think that there's like a contradiction or incoherency going on. Neither whites nor blacks should feel like victims. But there is evils and injustices happening to both, let's say. There are probably some responsible black Americans out there. I feel like I've met some and seen some. But and some of them the good have to suffer with the bad, Jesse has said, because the bad have made it so bad, have been so bad that everybody's like, oh no. Greggatron, Wednesday's show was really good. I like serving people. What's wrong with serving? Asks Greggatron with 3 coffees on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. What's wrong with serving? When I'm at work, I serve whites and blacks. What's the problem? Outside of work, too. If I'm driving and I see someone's car is stuck in the middle of the street, I push his or her car. Wow, risky. That's serving, although he's pretty strong. He could probably fight off would-be kidnappers or attackers or thieves or whatever. It doesn't matter if the driver is black or white, male or female, and a white guy will jump in and help, too. Ohio. Or no, the Midwest. I don't know where I got Ohio. There's nothing wrong with serving people. Can we all take a moment to serve Mark? Thank you, Mark, for calling in and contributing with your vast knowledge. Mark doesn't have to call in, but he does. Y'all better say thank you. See, I just served Mark. No big deal. I understand what Hassan meant when he said Mark is his favorite caller. Y'all better appreciate white people. Yes. How about a little white appreciation? Someone bought 3 coffees saying Ronnie misinforms nonstop on your show. Hold on. Discrimination, serving, if I can spell it right. Greggatron. Ronnie misinforms nonstop on your show, says someone with 3 coffees. Ronnie misinforming? Maybe, yeah. He knows a lot about history, but he interprets it wrong. And he's very selective, you know. But anyway, anyone who truly believes our kosher friends in Hollywood wouldn't create a movie to steal white ingenuity and give credit to blacks is truly an imbecile. Imbecile. I used to think that was a bad word. It sounds so bad. Because I used to think it was imbecile. What's an imbecile? Anyway, I'm scared to look it up, but I can hardly resist looking it up. Even the left admits that the quote-unquote racism scenes in that movie are made up. As Mark has said, blacks were against NASA because they wanted more welfare money. Ronnie said that Don Lemon simply walked into a church, quote-unquote. The indictment against that homosexual, not morally straight, specifically states that Don physically obstructed congregants as they attempted to exit the church. Huh? Jerome Richardson has admitted he helped Lemon plan this, according to this someone. Don't know who Jerome Richardson is. It sounds sort of familiar, not sure. And no, Ronnie, most of the blacks are not providing for your families. We tweeted you a graph, Hake. The people providing for you are whites and, a way lesser extent, Asians. We are the only 2 racial groups who put more into the system than we take out. Blacks are the biggest freeloaders in America per capita. Well, he didn't say per capita, but, you know. Shout out to sensible blacks like Art, Ohio, William III, California, for bucking the trend. Nice. And if I go over to my notifications, don't look at my notifications, people. If I scroll down, average lifetime U.S. budget from Pork Chop Express. Whites contribute $221,000 on average. Latinos, they take away more than $500,000, and then blacks more than $750,000 on average, according to studies. Yeah, I've seen this graph, and they cite their sources. Reposts are not endorsement. It may or may not be false, just because you list a lot of stuff, but You know, whites and pro-white people, a lot of times they like to get stuff right, okay? They like to get it, they like to be accurate, especially the, you know, American Renaissance types. And here's the Hidden Figures thing. If you check out x.com/The Hake Report, I've reposted the Hidden Figures Unz review, unz.com. Not saying it's true or not, but I'm just reposting just so you can look into it for yourself. Thank you, Pork Chop Express, for those tips. Hidden Figures. Countercurrents, it's something. I'll repost that one. I haven't looked into it, but reposts are not endorsement, okay? No endorsement implied. Not that I'm... Unz review is probably reliable. Same with Countercurrents, I would assume. You know, they like to get it right, you know? Popcorn, LOL, laughing out loud. Lots of laughs out loud at you live fact-checking Mark's claims about Georgia, whatever her name is, Meloni, importing Africans. From what you brought up, seem to be false or way overstated at best. May or may not be, okay? You can't trust the media, but you also can't just blindly trust Mark or the person from whom Mark heard that, okay? The Italian nationalist. You know, because there's American nationalists who poo-poo Trump and pretend like he's bringing in people like crazy when actually he's negative migration for the first time in 50 years. But they're crying about 600,000 or whatever Asians or something, and they're just being Nazis about it. Nazi meaning overly strict, okay? That's what I mean by that. You don't have to be anal about it. Don't say that word, kids. So you don't know. You don't know what the truth is. Okay, I saw footage of them building the Empire State Building one day. Not one black person was up there doing nothing. That's the kind of stuff that makes me, that's trying to make me a racist. That was from David today. It says popcorn. Oof, says popcorn. So just because you didn't see any black people in the documentary that you watched, that means they didn't help build it? I heard they helped build the White House. Slaves did. And people claiming that black people helped build it, they were contributors. Were they contributors? That was an old JLP show sort of joke about, are we experts? Are we contributors? Or is it the Jesse Lee Peterson show? Anyway, people claim that black people helped build it. That's what's trying to make you a race. It's because they're constantly trying to give black people all this credit for all kinds of stuff. And it's all about kissing up, and it's a mess, you know? Black people are like, oh, we built this country. And it's like, calm yourselves. You're mostly in the South, and the South was poor. That's what I heard. Not that the North was good morally, but that's where the industry was. And yeah, some black people went up there and helped. They worked for pay. The Empire State Building was built by Americans of many backgrounds, including European immigrants, Mohawk iron workers, and so-called African Americans. I doubt they were called that, popcorn, but I won't argue with you too much. If you're actually interested in who built it, just look it up, but claiming, oh, they're saying they're black people helped build it, and I didn't see them in a documentary. That's the stuff that's making me racist. That's disingenuous. I think it's fair. Whatever, man. You're handy with Google. Hey, put it to work. Indeed, I am, popcorn, but I respectfully decline for the sake of time. Cesar or Cesar, 3 coffees, helped build Empire State Building. Cesar. Sup, Hake, man, I saw you crushing on the pretty black chick that was making $500,000 a year during the JLP show, laughing face with tears. She was all right. I would rate her looks a solid 6 out of 10. I'm not being serious, Hake. It's all just fun and games. That's all from me, man. Have a great day, everyone. Thumbs up emoji. You know, I do what we call grade inflation, 6 out of 10. You know, they call that a D in school. If you're getting a D in school, you're not passing. She was more than passing. She was pretty. I would give her a solid B, maybe even a B plus in terms of looks. I didn't look closely because I'm not into the interracial thing. I'm not a pervert. Anyway, kidding around, okay? Kidding around. Thank you, Cesar or Cesar. Very amusing super chat there. Yeah, check out the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Anchor Baby and Hake gave our reaction to a woman who had 500,000. She'd made $500,000. I don't know if it was a year, but she the only thing that made her less pretty was that she was saying, "Oh, I have a multi-million-dollar company," and that's just like a black person, especially like a black woman. Oh, I'm running an empire, or things like that. You know, oh, I have a multi-million-dollar company. What a thrill to just say stuff like that, bragging. Bragging doesn't look good on you, on anybody. And black people are prone to bragging and being all into titles. I'm a reverend doctor. Call me congresswoman. Dumb stuff like that. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Cesar funny. All right, so I have limited time. William 7 apparently dropped. Sorry, William 7. That's 2 days in a row I've missed you. I got to get to the great Stephen in Maryland. Stephen in Maryland, I have limited time. Let's do it. Let's keep it short if we can.
Okay. I just want to let you know that my friend Mark, if he has want to have discussion, he can have debate with me, but I'll discuss with him about life. What has he done in life, not what other people have done in life.
Oh, okay.
And the second one is Jesse's company should be named Jesse and Joe. That's what, because he's sitting on Joe's lap.
Joe who?
You probably don't know who Joe is, but I know who Joe is. Joe is the one who sponsors Jesse.
So you're just making stuff up, huh?
I'm not making it up.
It sounds made up.
True. How did Jesse make those $1 million? How do you make that $1 million?
Buying a house, selling it, buying another house, and having a business and selling the business and creating much value to what many people willingly contribute because they see the value in what he says and does and how he lives.
And you know who contributed, right?
Joe, the average Joe.
No, it wasn't the average Joe.
Oh. That's
Joe,
G.I. Joe.
No, not G.I. Joe.
Joe the trucker.
What is Joe
Joe Biden? Probably not Joe Biden.
No.
Joe Schmo.
No, Joseph is a name from Joseph.
Joseph and the coat of many colors. Jesse Lee is the modern day Joseph who has found favor in the eyes of many.
You can twist it all you want. This guy named Joe sponsors him. And this guy named Joseph is not a good person.
Joseph Stalin?
He's dead.
Yeah.
Think of another Joseph.
I can't.
Okay. Well, let it go at that then. But I know.
Okay.
This guy who sponsors him ain't too cool.
Nice. Joseph Epstein?
No, I'm gonna ask Mark that when I see him.
All right.
If I offer him $1 million and a book deal, and had another person who sponsors me that is a right wing racist, would he go against his people?
Ah. Well, Jesse's people are Jesus's people, those who do the will of the Father.
Jesse's people is what?
Jesus's people. Jesus people.
And who was Jesus?
Jesus,
a Jew, right?
Son of God.
He was a Jew, right?
I don't know. There is argument about that. I do believe he was, but he is not because he is now with the Father.
He's not a Jew, but he came in a Jew's body.
Right.
There you go.
Yep.
So he was classified as a Jew.
Ashkenazi Jew.
A Nazi Jew.
I'm kidding around. No, Ashkenazi, different from Nazi.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Gotta run, Stephen.
You don't like Jews.
Who
Mark
doesn't?
like Jews. He doesn't like them.
Who?
Jays. He calls them Jays.
Who?
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, but he doesn't have a beef with Jesus, except that he does not want to follow the love your enemies part that Jesus purportedly said per the Bible.
He don't like him too. He's a Jew.
No, he likes Every anti-Jewish person, every person who hates Jews has a favorite Jew. And Mark's favorite Jew,
No.
if Jesus was a Jew, which Mark says he probably wasn't, but even if he was, I don't care. He's still the son of God. So Mark is a fair-minded white man and a Christian.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta run, Stephen.
All right. You and Mark, you know what y'all two can do.
Stay white and live. Oh, he clicked on me. That's messed up. Art, Ohio. Go.
Hey, how you doing, Hake, first and foremost?
Fine, sir.
All right, first things first. When was the Empire State Building built?
Like 100 years ago, plus or minus, I would guess.
So the 1920s is speculated. 1920s, slavery didn't end until, what was that, 1870-something or something like that, somewhere around that. So what I'm thinking is that most Negro Americans wasn't in New York like that. You see what I'm saying? Or whatnot. Keep in mind, though, New York wasn't, I don't think New York had slavery. You see what I'm saying? So for you to think that just because you don't see no blacks on the Empire State Building or whatnot, I probably speculated it wasn't a lot of blacks on the Empire State Building because it wasn't a lot of Negroes in New York.
It was construction started in 1930 and it opened in 1931. It took just over 1 year and 35 days. That's a quick construction, I have to say. Yeah, I think that if David was complaining about that, I hadn't caught David saying that, but Popcorn's a better listener than me.
He said it when he was talking to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently if he said that, I think he was saying that because maybe some black people or some liberals were trying to give black people credit for building it or something. I don't know. But you're right. I don't know how many blacks were up there in the north. It was built during the Great Depression.
Okay, well, I'm just speculating. I ain't going off no specific numbers. We just know the facts of slavery in that history. So we know it wasn't that many blacks up here. But I wouldn't doubt if it was a few that helped build it. The thing that I'm having a problem is that just because you didn't see them doing nothing in New York, how many skyscrapers is it all over America? New York ain't the only place that has skyscrapers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just because they probably might not have been in New York like that, they don't mean they wasn't in Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Atlanta, Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's that point or whatnot. The second thing is, those ladies that they said helped the astronauts get to NASA or whatnot.
Yeah.
Can you find out how many of them out of them three were married and see if they were married or whatnot?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. And my thing is, I think that from the movie it said that they were married or whatnot, because how they played it in the movie or whatnot. And then was and that lady, she's a Negro too, a Negro lady or whatnot, I'm speculating. You see what I'm saying? But if she did help or whatnot, I want to congratulate her. You know what I mean? Because she was she's a respectable Negro black female. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at that time, they wanted to be married and followed up under the man. She didn't have no problem with following up under her husband or whatnot. You know what I mean? So I give her her P's or whatnot, all due respect to her for carrying herself and helping NASA or whatnot. You know what I mean? It ain't no problem with giving credit where credit's due. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anything less of that, you ain't doing nothing but being a straight hater. You know what I mean? PhD, a player's hater degree. You see what I'm saying? Stop trying to be a hater about everything. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'd rather deal with that type of female than one of these 2006 females. You feel me? Whether they white, black, Asian, or Hispanic, I'd rather deal with them type of females back in them days. So you know what? I give her her P's and her respect for anything and everything that she did, her and her husband at that generation, because they were trying. They tried to set a good example of how everything was supposed to be. Second thing is, I don't remember it being no Bibles in the Caucasian mountains, the Caucasus Mountains or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? I don't remember anything, any testament out of any of the Bible where it said that Jesus, Adam and Eve were anywhere in any Caucasus Mountains reading any Bibles or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So, let's just wipe the coal out our eyes. You know what I mean? And act like we kind of got some sense. You know what I mean? Do you remember? Do you know any stories out the Bible where it was saying that they was in the Caucasus Mountains or whatnot, hunting mountain lions and skiing down ski slopes or whatnot? However they might have been doing in the mountains or whatnot with the Bible. I don't remember hearing anything about no snow or it being cold or whatnot in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Adam, and Eve. Anybody in that time, I don't remember saying anything.
I guess that they're saying the Noah's Ark may have landed in Mount Ararat, which they're saying is located near the Caucasus Mountains in modern-day Turkey and Armenia. But they don't really reference, most of the Bible is set in the Middle East, the Levant, modern-day Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and Mesopotamia, and a little Egypt, right? I thought, but yeah. And then you hear a little bit about that, and you hear about the East, and you hear about Ethiopia or something. I don't know. Yeah.
And as far as with the East, what do you mean? As far as hearing about, as far as what with the East?
The wise men from the East came to visit Jesus. The three kings or three wise men or whatever they were. I don't know if they were Asian or what they were, India people or what. But
East where? The East to Israel, the East of
I don't know. I thought it was the Orient, the Orientals.
Yeah. Because I can say that the East to anything. I could be talking about East Columbus.
Yeah, I know. I could be talking about Arizona being east of me.
Exactly. So long story short or whatnot. Then when we just talking about yesterday when I said we was talking, because I seen a video, and I'm gonna get off here after this or whatnot, respectfully. I seen a video a while ago where these liberals in New York, we got the stock market, ain't nobody gonna leave New York or whatnot. Why this is a socialist talking. They trying to say that if they tax the rich, they won't leave nowhere. They ain't got no choice but to stay in New York. And I go to look at California or whatnot, and then just like we was talking yesterday, I said, what happens when these rich people start leaving California or whatnot? And look what you see with Zuckerberg after he created the mess. Now he trying to hightail it out and trying to be around some conservatives or some rhinos, because ain't no real conservatives gonna deal with him or whatnot. Some rhinos down there in Florida or whatnot. And only thing that's gonna happen is the devil's fighting the devil. So they can't tax Zuckerberg no more. So who you think they gonna tax? Hake and Jesse.
Yeah.
They ain't doing nothing but passing it down to y'all, and that's all that's gonna end up keep happening is that they running they tax base off, the most paying tax base off, and then only thing they gonna do same thing with Chicago. That's why you see all them black communist preachers in Chicago talking about, they raising the taxes up. Dummy, what you thought they was gonna do? After y'all got all y'all's black kids up there robbing y'all's community, can't no businesses stay open. So when the business leave, the communist churches is gonna be, they gonna tax y'all. They ain't caring about what you think and you believe. That ain't what they into. They into collecting tax money or whatnot.
I gotta run, sir. It's good talking with you, man.
I'll catch you later, brother.
All right. Y'all, I gotta leave. Thank you to the super chatters, Harmony Harms. Punchy TV was amazing, she says. And the callers, William 7 called back in, and I want to get to Anthony and SoCal next, but and others. Peace in the Middle East, though, or at least in y'all's hearts. Adios, America. Anchor Baby up next. Bye.